Hey guys, how are you? I am Emerald Ambassador Melissa Shaver, and I'm super excited to be with everyone tonight. And I want to talk to you a little bit about weight loss and what supplements are the best for you to add to your regimen. I know that we have so many fantastic things that are out there, and I'm just really thrilled to be able to be with you and to share a little bit about our great supplements and what we have. And for many of us, I think we want to be healthy from the inside out, right? Like everything that we talk about with gut health and inflammation and blood sugar stabilization, that is key to our health. But we also want to be able to look our very best, yes? And even though it all comes together, I know, because I was there, that we really kind of want to speed up the side whenever it comes to weight loss and losing inches and going down in pant sizes and all of that great stuff. So I get it. And as women, I really do, I feel like that we seem to see weight differently than men. Can I get an amen on that? We gain weight faster than men do, and we can't seem to get the weight off as fast as men. So we kind of get into this frustrating area. And I really think that for the majority of women, we also get ourselves wrapped up in this really vicious cycle of emotional eating and then speaking these negative words to ourselves, these hateful things that we say to ourselves afterwards, of telling ourselves how bad we are, or that we're weak whenever it comes towards food, or that we're worthless, or we have no willpower. Have you ever said those words to yourself? I do. I know that many times I really struggled with stress eating, or eating out of boredom or anxiety. And then I would come right back and just really, in my mindset, just have this negative self-talk of just putting myself down and really being frustrated with myself. And it just is a vicious cycle that we're in. We really beat ourselves up. And that's one of the reasons I'm super passionate towards these supplements that we're going to be talking about, specifically whenever it comes to how we view ourselves, what we say to ourselves, and how we tend to see others because of it. So today we get to talk not only about losing weight, a very, very natural way, but how we can keep it off and how these ingredients can help us with our mindset. Can you believe that it helps with weight loss, it helps with mindset, it helps with gut health? I mean, all of that together. So let's get started. And as we begin this conversation, I really want to share with you that this is not a magic pill or a formula. It's not going to happen overnight. So don't think, oh my goodness, we live in this instant gratification world and we want everything to be immediate. But these supplements, I want you to understand, they are tools for you to use to better yourself, to help you get the health and the weight that you want those things under control, and to begin living a life at your healthiest self that you can be. So for everything that I share tonight, I want you to hear me. It's super important that you're drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water, that you're always reaching for clean, healthy, colorful foods, that you're incorporating some form of an exercise program into your days or into a couple of times a week, and that you're really being intentional with your sleep, with lowering your stress levels. Like all of that is tied into your weight loss success. Now, we're not going to be talking about all those aspects tonight. We should talk about that another night, definitely. But I'm just more than glad to answer those questions for you. If you have something that you are wanting to know around that, please type those questions into the comments, or you can message me later. I would love to have those conversations with you if you need to talk through some of those things. But we're going to be talking very specifically tonight about Slim, MetaBurn, Lean, our lean protein shakes, those meal replacement shakes, and Block. So I'm going to not go into a great deal with our Slim, because this is our pink drink, because just a couple of weeks ago I shared in great detail about this product, about this drink. And you can search for it here on, Let's Talk Products was the title of it, and Why Detox Matters. You can search for it on this page, or you can search for it on YouTube, either way. But what I do want to share is just a couple of things about the pink drink, of just the great benefits of Slim and how it's targeted towards weight loss. The first thing that I want you to know is, and this is the hunger control one, guys. So from a weight loss standpoint, the hunger control is excellent. I absolutely love this. I also love it for people that are hypoglycemic like myself, hypothyroid, different things like that, just because of how it balances blood sugars. That's a really big deal. But it has 6 grams of dietary fibers that are found in the polydextrose. So this has an extra dose of polydextrose in it, if you will. And it's derived from a plant. Everything that we do is just humongous in plant-based, high-quality ingredients. But that polydextrose, it actually helps you feel full longer. So it goes into your system. It helps you feel full and satisfied, but it also digests through your system at a slower pace. And so you feel full longer as well, which allows you to eat less. It also, it's equivalent to, like, if you think about this and just the packaging of Slim and everything that's in it, that is actually equivalent to 3 cups of broccoli. And this is what I love about it, is it's, as you know, it's a small packet. I don't have this one open, that you just pour into a bottle of water. And I love that because it's so efficient, and just the world that we live in today and everyone going around, you can take that with you. You can drink it at any time, and that's super good. So I love looking at that versus eating 3 cups of broccoli or 6 granola bars. It's equivalent to 6 granola bars has 6 grams of fiber in it. And 3 cups of broccoli has 6 grams of dietary fiber. So that kind of shows you the difference. The crazy thing about a granola bar, and many of you I know love granola bars. I used to love granola bars. I loved the crunch of a granola bar. But you also have to realize that with those fibers, it also has 42 grams of sugar and 102 grams of carbs that are in it. So another great thing about this, the polydextrose is that soluble fiber, is that only about 5% of Americans actually consume enough fiber every single day, which is mind-blowing. But it also kind of makes sense. We eat a lot of fake foods. We don't get enough vegetables into our systems. And that's another thing that we're going to talk about with our protein meal replacement, is something about the fiber as well that is just magnificent. I love the focus that we have on that. So the second thing that I want to tell you about it is that it has the green coffee bean extract in it. And that is a natural plant-based ingredient. It's derived from coffee, but it hasn't been roasted yet. And that's a really big deal. Go back and listen to all of that from the training that I did a couple of weeks ago. It's just really, really good information. But this type of a bean has a higher chlorogenic acid in it than the regular. And so that's a really big deal because it helps regulate and maintain that healthy blood glucose level that we need in that normal range. So that also helps to induce body fat loss by increasing the body heat, believe it or not. So it's almost like a thermogenic type of a deal. So I want you to know that it's non-GMO, and it is a natural form of a caffeine. So it's really like equivalent to like half of a cup of coffee. So if you're kind of wondering about that, but it also helps to metabolize your carbs and your fats. So the other thing about the Slim that's a really big deal, we've already talked about hydration and everything like that, but whenever you're looking at losing weight, you really, really, really need to drink water. And this metabolism, whenever you're dehydrated, your metabolism actually slows down and it works against you, especially if you're trying to lose weight and you're drinking diet sodas, which is also a dehydrator, and you're already dehydrated. You're killing your metabolism with that. So understanding that 75% of us, 75% of people even listening to this tonight, you're chronically dehydrated. So the clients that I work with, in trying to get them to drink the amount of water that they need to drink every single day, it's super hard for them to do that. I keep water with me all the time, and the more I drink, the thirstier I am. Like, our body just really needs to absorb that water intake. So that piece is super important. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our newest supplement, which is MetaBurn. Probably one of my favorite supplements, and I hope that nobody ever just holds me down and says, what's the number one thing that you would take if you couldn't take anything else, because that would be very, very, very difficult for me. But this has been really huge for me, not only from a weight loss perspective, but also from a hormone health and brain health perspective for me. I started taking this product at the beginning of the year, and in my first 3 months of taking it, now I added this with the lean and the slim. I did all of the regimen. It wasn't just the MetaBurn, but adding this to my regimen, I lost 6.5 inches in my stomach area, my belly, my thighs, my hips. Those are the hardest areas for women. So to say I was excited is an understatement, because at my age, I am very, very active. So you tend to believe that the way that you look is the way that you look. And I'm happy with the way that I look. I'm very thankful to be able to do what I do and be as active as I am and have the energy I am. But you see ourselves without clothes on, and we always find those spots. And so that's a really big deal to be able to say 6.5 inches in 3 months. So let's talk a little bit about why I'm so crazy about this supplement. So I have this really strong desire and passion to help women in regards to hormone health and adrenal fatigue, because my story of transformation is connected to this. And I have hypothyroid and adrenal fatigue. And I run into hundreds of women with some form of hormone health issues that are going on in their life. So hypothyroid means that my thyroid just doesn't produce enough on its own, and I'm going to be on some form of supplementation through medication in some way throughout my life. Now, I have come down from doing 120 milligrams down to 20 milligrams, which is unbelievable to me. And I'm still under, doctor's advice on all of that. But to even wean off to that is a really big deal. But I will never go off completely of some form of a supplementation. So in no way am I asking or saying that this is going to replace that in anything that I say tonight. I'm not saying that these supplements will replace medication. You always need to be working with your doctors on that, but it will benefit. So adrenal fatigue just means that I overproduce cortisol when I'm in stressful situations or I have stress in my life. That's why it's so important to try to lower your stress, try to get the sleep, because sleep helps you to heal. But you fatigue those adrenals. And so you're exhausted and you feel like you're walking through mud. So for most of us, because of our hormone imbalances, thyroid's not producing correctly or having adrenal fatigue, we have a hard time losing weight. Often, as you know, the older you get, the more you feel like you can't lose the weight at the rate that you used to. A lot of people were just like, I can eat whatever I want to eat, and then on weekend or during the week, I will watch what I eat, and on weekends, I'll eat anything. But as you get older, it just doesn't work that way anymore. And a lot of it's because our hormones are changing and adjusting. So we continue to gain weight, or we gain weight even though we're doing all the right things. So let me just talk a little bit about some key ingredients in the MetaBurn. First of all, like I said, it's hardcore plants, which is super exciting. It's super exciting that I love that our company continues to build such strong foundational supplements on plant-based, high-quality ingredients. It's incredible how they continue to keep their main focus, the main focus, and that is gut health, inflammation, and blood sugar stabilization. And to see that focus but that it also benefits brain health, hormone health, weight loss. That's extremely exciting to me. So one of the first ingredients that I want to talk about is called NALT, and that is it's an amino acid that your body naturally produces, the L-tyrosine. And NALT is the most bioavailable form of L-tyrosine, which means that your body can be most readily and easily absorbed in NALT as it assists in that production of the thyroid. So it actually converts to L-tyrosine, which it functions in your body to assist your body producing thyroid hormones. That's what it's doing. So for me, I'm low in tyrosine, so I need always to be supplementing in some form with this. So tyrosine levels also deplete, or they lower from stress. So if you experience high stress or acute or chronic stress in your life, those levels are typically dropping. So the NALT, this ingredient, actually helps those levels back, raise and increase back up. The other ingredient that I want to talk to you about is the rhodiola rosea. And rhodiola, you can even search that here on this page. Got great information on that. But it's an adaptogenic herb that has been used globally for centuries. And it has major benefits in enhancing the body's ability to burn fat. This is fascinating to me. So we talked about cortisol levels and how stress increases that production of the cortisol. And when that happens, and the cortisol typically makes belly fat accumulate in your abdomen area. So what this ingredient does is it decreases that stress hormone, and in doing so, it enhances your body's ability to burn fat. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes here. So it increases those energy levels, and that stress, as it creates this fatigue that is going on in your life, the rhodiola actually works to increase energy instead. Also, I love this because, and we're going to be talking a little bit more in just a minute about brain health, but it really helps with cognitive function. So if you start taking this, you might notice fairly quickly that you don't feel all the brain fog, that you have a little bit more clarity, that you're beginning to remember and think straight again. The other ingredient, and the last ingredient that I want to talk to you about with MetaBurn, is the grains of paradise. And grains of paradise is, man, it has like 20 plus different health benefits that have been documented, have been studied, including anti-inflammatory, which we're super big on in our company with our supplements, and antibacterial. But the thing that I want to talk about for these purposes is why it's great for fat loss. It actually activates something in your body that's called brown fat. Have you guys heard of that before? So our body has two types of fat in our bodies. There's white fat and there's brown fat. And brown fat has to be activated for fat loss to occur. And grains of paradise is one of the only known ways to activate that brown fat. Is that not fascinating? So the only other way that they know that brown fat can be activated is when you're put under extreme cold temperatures, like ice baths or extremely cold showers, or the cryogenic booths that you see now, at least in our Metroplex. They're popping up everywhere. But supplemental wise, grains of paradise activates that brain fat and lowers your white fat. So with this, it actually is used to burn fat and increase your energy. But its third component is that it's a mood enhancer. And I want to take a minute to talk about that with you, because if you struggle with mood health or brain health, and honestly, who doesn't deal with stress today, right? And moodiness. Some people are more dealing with brain health and mental health than other people. And so there's all different levels of that. And some it's more chronic than for others. But this is what I want y'all to hear about this. NALT, the ingredient that I was sharing with you, that amino acid, it actually improves that cognitive function. And it helps you to have just that mental clarity. And I also want to share with you just a little bit about the caffeine that is found in the Metaburn. It is extremely pure, and it's what we call a true tea, so that most products that are caffeinated cannot say that. But Plexus and the quality that we use in ours, we are we're in that. It's actually derived from a plant, and this plant does include that L-theanine, which is an amino acid that helps stimulate GABA, which is one of your neurotransmitters that actually helps you to relax. It soothes your body, and it reduces that anxiety, that stress, and gives you this just kind of calm sense of focus. Probably one of the greatest things that I love about this. It's crazy to call it a mood enhancer, but it really is. I feel like it's kind of my happy. I absolutely love this product. I also want you to know that the rhodiola that we were talking about earlier, from a standpoint of brain health, it is an adaptogenic herb, which means that it reduces the stress without disturbing your body's biological function. So it's going to help prevent fatigue, stress. It's a very powerful antioxidant, and it helps decrease mild depression and anxiety. But what I love so much about this product is that it is derived from the earth. And it helps to reduce what's becoming known as 21st century stress. Have you ever heard of that? I really hadn't heard about it until some of our licensed counselors, some of our nurse practitioners started talking about that. And that is the fatigue, the mental fog, the low energy, the mild depression and anxiety. It's that environmental stress, if you will. And rhodiola is really good with reducing that. The other thing that I want to share with you that is in here, and it's part of our proprietary blend, is the 5-HTP. Now, some of you guys might know of another one of our supplements called Accelerator. It has 5-HTP in it too. It's an amino acid, and it helps your body produce serotonin, which is going to help with sleep. It's going to help with your appetite, your endocrine production. It's going to help with focus, but it also helps aid in weight loss. So that's a pretty big deal. It's really big for keeping your appetite under control, and it helps you feel more satisfied whenever you eat. But the thing that I want to talk to you about is a lot of people, there's kind of two different camps about 5-HTP in that supplement. And some people say, because your body naturally produces that, and some people actually say that you shouldn't take 5-HTP supplement because your body's going to stop producing it. And I want us just to talk about that, because I really want to help you understand what it is in our product, and what they're saying. Because first of all, it's incorrect information. There's bits and pieces of it that are correct, but for the most part, it's incorrect. Nobody should be taking tons of 5-HTP doses of a supplement. So if it's just pure 5-HTP, you have to really watch those doses. But for us in the Metaburn, it's part of the proprietary blend, which means that it's not one of the primary ingredients, and it's not a primary function of Metaburn, but it has so many helpful benefits to it. So I just kind of want to make you feel comfortable with that, if that is a question that you've had. So when I take my Metaburn, everybody's a little bit different. As you know, all of our bodies are so unique, so different. So I want you to take it when it is best for you. I would say probably don't ever take it past 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. I take one first thing in the morning, and then I take one at lunchtime. I love taking a Metaburn right before I work out. It's a great pre-workout supplement. I mean, you can just powerhouse through your workout. So depending on when you do that, it might be good for that. Some people take 2 first thing in the morning. I do that probably just on my days off. I just like to separate them if I'm doing a workout. But otherwise, sometimes I do take them twice. What I would say towards that is let your body be educated towards the supplement that you're putting into it. I would say only do one Metaburn in the beginning, one at a time. So maybe one in the morning, one at lunch, or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then if you're wanting to do two, after your body is, I always say our body has to educate to the supplements and the ingredients that we're putting into it. Then maybe you can do two at one time. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about lean. Now there's two types of lean. There is the vegetarian meal replacement. I can't talk. This is my very favorite. This is the one that I do. So I am prejudiced towards that. And then the whey meal. This is the one that my daughter does, my son does, absolutely loves it. We have it in chocolate as well as vanilla. So let's just talk a little bit about that and why I'm in love with it. So the whey protein and the vegetarian protein. So let's talk a little bit about whey proteins, because not all whey proteins are equal. And I really want you to hear why ours is so great. So whey is actually the liquid that comes up whenever you are making cheese with that dairy. It's whenever you're churning it and things raise, that liquid raises to the top. That is your whey. The casein actually is a casein protein, and it is the hard stuff that goes to the bottom, and that's what they make cheese out of. And so the top is that protein whey. But there are many different ways to do that. There's heat pressed, there's cold pressed. We are a cold pressed whey. And honestly, the heat pressed is more, it's cheaper to go that route. And when you do that, it actually, whenever you heat that up, you lose the flavor in it. You break down the proteins that are in it. So the proteins are not as potent. And they're broken down. It's not as high of a quality. It doesn't have as rich of nutrients in it. But whenever it loses that flavor, guess what? You have to put flavor back in. So a lot of times it's artificial flavors, sugars, artificial sugars, sweeteners, things like that. So ours is actually a cold pressed, and that means that it preserves those nutrients in those proteins. Ours is also a whey isolate, so it actually removes the lactose, and it's also RBGH free. So know those things: gluten-free, dairy-free, all those wonderful things. I will say I am also celiac disease. All of our products are gluten-free. It's a really big deal for me. Whenever I first started, I've been doing all of these. Well, not all, because we didn't have all the products, but I've been on Plexus for 5.5 years. And that was my very first question, was the ingredients, and were they gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian, all that great stuff. So it's a true meal replacement. It has a whole spectrum of vitamins. It's also bioavailable, which means that it's just immediately assimilated and used. It's methylated. So it's not full of synthetics. Those things are super important to know. It has 5 grains of prebiotic fibers in it. So it's very, very good for digestion, and it feeds your good microbes in your gut. It's also very, very healthy in fats. We need fats. Many of you have really started learning the importance of good fat and what it does for brain health, what it does for weight loss. But it makes you feel satiated. It makes you feel full. You need healthy fats for that. You need fibers for that. You need proteins for that. And we have all of that in these shakes. If we only eat sugars and empty carbs, we're never going to feel full. We're always going to be hungry, and we're always going to want something every 1 to 2 hours. And we're going to have that hangry feeling that you hear a lot of, where you're starving and you get really, really angry. And so these ingredients and the way that it is created is to be long lasting, for you to have those good fats and proteins in it. So it has your fiber, it has your healthy fats, it has your whey protein has 15 grams of protein, and your vegetarian has 20 grams of protein. So it's really, really a great option for people on the go. If you're skipping meals, it really can mess up your metabolism. I know a lot of people, as they are wanting to lose weight, they start kind of starving themselves to death. And so they skip meals, or if you're running out the door, they don't get breakfast, or they don't do lunch. This is perfect for those times. It's also really good for post-workout. That's whenever I drink mine. I love it as a post-workout meal. I also love that it's in a bag, because you can do 1 scoop and it can actually be a snack, so an afternoon snack, or you can do 2 scoops, and it can be a meal. So it allows you to adjust. You can just put it into a snack baggie and take it with you to be able to do that. Now, in regards to losing weight, I think the really big thing, and what I love, I'm always telling people, without a doubt, these meal replacements, I feel so good about sharing this with people, and for them it is so much better than probably any meal that you would get. Most people run through fast foods and get fast foods, or they don't eat, or they eat a lot of carbs. This has everything that you need. But for a lot of people, they really have a hard time with portion control. And this is going to make a big deal for that. So you're either starving yourself to try to lose weight, and then you mess up your metabolism, and then you end up binge eating and eating tons and then getting frustrated, or you are eating just too much. Also, whenever it comes to weight loss, lots of people do these really super strict calorie restriction types of diets, but they're getting not enough nutrients, not their omegas, not their vitamins, not their healthy fats, not their fibers, not their strong, good plant-based proteins. And those are things that our body needs. And they end up losing muscle instead of losing fat. And so totally against that type of weight loss. And so this is a very, very, very healthy way to do it. So a couple of things about this. You can do it with water. And shake it up with water. I love to have mine with coconut milk, but if you just want those extra healthy fats or a little bit more extra calories and nutrients, just because I'm very, very active, so I do add that to it. But you can do coconut milk, almond milk, cashew milk. There's all really great alternatives to that if you don't want to do water. You can do smoothies, you can put fruits and veggies, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, so you can add any of that to it. What I love about the vegetarian meal replacement is I used to put all kinds of kale and spinach and all these greens into it. You don't have to with the vegetarian, so I absolutely love that. It has 20 essential amino acids in it, so those are those building blocks for your cells, for helping your muscles and have strong, lean muscle. And it's also really, really good for energy. So that part's awesome. Sorry, guys. Ooh, that was super loud. Okay, so let's talk just a few minutes about block. Block stays with me everywhere I go. I put it in my purse, one of my most favorite supplements that we have, and I want us just to real quickly talk about that. It is an amazing supplement. It actually blocks 48% of your carbs, and I'm just going to talk about a couple of ingredients. It actually has 3 natural ingredients in it, guys. It has chromium, which helps with glucose regulator, so it helps with muscle recovery as well. The 2 really cool ingredients in it, one is brown seaweed. And brown seaweed, that blend, it actually helps you feel full faster. If you have hypothyroid or your thyroid doesn't function as well as it should, it actually has a natural high iodine count in it. So it's super good for thyroid function. Many people who have kind of a hard time losing weight, this is going to help with that portion control, feeling full faster, blocking those carbs, helping with that thyroid function. And then the other ingredient that is in it is the white kidney bean extract. And that actually paralyzes the enzymes that breaks down that carb in your body that turns into glucose, and that glucose turns into fat. So it inhibits that digestion of those starches, and it helps you feel full faster. So those 2 ingredients really help you feel like you've expanded, if you will, and you're not as hungry. So when do you take these? I would say take these, you can take 1 to 2 of these before your heaviest meals. It could be 1 or 2 meals a day. I don't take this every single day. But if I am having anything that has like a grain in it, like rice or something like that, Sometimes whenever I do sweet potatoes, I eat fairly clean, but I still take this a lot. But if you're doing pizzas or pastas, or maybe you're going to have Mexican food, something like that, or if you're eating a hamburger, that bun and those fries, you might want to do this. So you can take it then, keep it in my purse so that I'd never forget it. It's always with me. Some people also actually will take it. I take it sometimes in the middle of the day, even if I haven't had a meal, because of the iodine in my thyroid. A lot of people actually take it at night. That's not what it's used for, but they take it at night, and as they sleep, they just feel like that it helps with just breaking everything down. And then the really cool thing that we've had so many people, it's not what it was created for, but it's really helped people quit smoking, which is just amazing. And because it blocks that absorption of those sugars, and cigarettes actually have a certain amount, I think it's like half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of sugar, but it actually just makes them not, it reduces those cravings of wanting to have that. So I hope that that's good. I tried to do it in 30 minutes. I think I got super close. Slim, Lean, MetaBurn, and Block. They are fantastic. I am on all of those. If you have any questions, please leave those questions for me. I would love to answer them for you. Let us know how you're doing. If you take the products, I would love for you guys to comment on what's your favorite product, how you take them. Let's just learn from each other. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for being with me, and I'll talk to y'all soon.